Yes. Hello, my beautiful friends. It is an amazing day. And I'm so grateful to be here with you. We've got some debate debunking to do here. We're going to have a debrief on what happened last night because there were a ton of lies that were emanating like a noxious odor out of Kamala and ABC's mouths. And we're going to break down where they went so wrong. The lies were shameless, and there was a lot to unpack. And so the tubes are hopefully connecting themselves. It's a beautiful day. We've got Charles Mosby. What's up? Alpha She-Wolf in the house. Our friends on Locals, looks like they have kicked over. It's a beautiful day to you, my friends. Chubby, Milo, First Amendment, and our friends on Rumble all tuning in. What's up? Buzzy B, Aaron Richardson, Sportfish. Great to see everybody. And so today we're going to unpack a bunch of issues. And so I want to run you through a little bit of what we're going to be talking about. So first and foremost, we're going to hit abortion. So abortion came up yesterday, and we've got this clip from this woman and this gentleman yesterday, the governor, Ralph Northam, who are going to do the debunking for us. Because they said last night that there were no late-term abortions, that nobody was delivering alive babies and then allowing them to just expire on the table. That was clearly not happening, except it was. In fact, we've got a bill that was trying to be passed by the Republicans. You can see this was the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, so that when a baby does come out, when they cannot eliminate the baby, they will do something about it. They'll give that child rights. They'll say, oh, okay, well now since it's crossed that little 1-inch barrier from inside to outside, suddenly it's going to be a human. And before it was just a clump of cells or something. So it's very curious. Now this was working its way through the House. You can see it passed the House of Representatives, but not without a big battle from the Democrats. And so we're going to take a quick look at what that bill said. It's very short, very simple. We'll see what the Republicans were trying to do and how the Democrats opposed it. Oh, how they opposed the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act. They gave us a bunch of reasons about how, I love this reason, how it may endanger infants. It's like, hey, if we can't kill that kid, it might kill that kid, you know? What? All right, so we'll read through that and we'll see what's going on. And there were a bunch of Democrats who actually voted for this thing. So they said, no, we kind of like babies who were born and laying on a table to just expire, not a big deal. All these Democrats voted against it. So we'll go through all of that in the upcoming talk on abortion. And there's a little bit of a graphic explanation of what goes on with one of these procedures. When you're in the third trimester, I'm going to let one of the abortion clinics explain it to us, and then we'll take it from there. But be forewarned, that is coming up. So then we're going to turn our attention over to this pets, cats, and dogs situation, because on the debate stage, there was a little back and forth. Was it in Springfield? Was it dogs? Was it cats? Were these geese? What the heck is going on here with all these migrants just eating the animals everywhere we turn, allegedly? And so we'll go through this. Apparently, there was a lot more information here. Attorney General from Ohio came out. He had something to say about it. And there was more because the local news has some information on these reports. And we also see that our friend Libs of TikTok confirmed for us that there is a police report, and there was this gentleman who appeared at a city council meeting, and he's like, yo, the Haitians are taking up everything. And they're taking the geese from the park. So to be fair, the fact check may not have been about the dogs. Okay, Trump may have been wrong on that. It may not have been dogs. It may have been geese. So huge difference. Now we don't have to worry about anything since they're getting them from the park, I guess. Not your backyard. All right. So we also got some audio recording from the Federalist when someone called in and said, yeah, there's some Haitians out there with some geese in their hands. So we'll listen to that and we'll fact check that one. But then the big one that we were raging about yesterday during the debate was about the January 6th lies. Obviously, Kamala had a lot of those coming out. And one of the big ones from our friend Julie Kelly, she clipped for us, is when Kamala made two pretty egregious lies. One was that certain officers were killed. So officers were killed on that day. No, they were not. That's a lie. That's a shameless lie. We know it's very convenient for them to say that, but it's not even close to the truth. And so we'll go through that. And the other interesting conversation was she said that she was there on the Capitol on that day. And she left the Capitol before any of this stuff happened. She went over and she was hanging out with the pipe bomb. And no one really knows what that was about. So we'll talk about this. We also have the CCTV footage courtesy of Free State Will, who is a January 6th defendant, by the way, who's doing an awesome job, and he's an amazing follow, explaining that he's got the footage of her actually leaving the Capitol building at 11:21 a.m. So we'll peruse through that. We've also got the reminder from the Capitol Police that Brian Sicknick did not die because of Capitol violence at all, and more, because Free State Will did a little analysis on this, and guess what they said was one of the causes of injuries to the Capitol Hill police that Kamala was quoting yesterday when she said 140 were injured. You know what some of those injuries were? COVID. They got infected with that MAGA virus strain of COVID because of those protesters. All right. So you can see it's just kind of a joke. Now, we also got that. We got the defund the police hoax. We've also got the fracking hoax, which we had queued up, that she just is totally making stuff up. She loves Dick Cheney, and she loves more war. And so we're going to go through this clip, a bunch of different stuff today. We've got RFK coming up. I got JD Vance queued up. And so we're just going to be fact-checking like it ain't nobody's business. And so we're really glad that you're here. Thanks for joining us. We've got a bunch of stuff to get into today. Before we jump into any of that fun stuff, of course, you know what we've got to do. We've got to be prepared in case there is another pandemic situation, because we never know. It could be coming any day now. Health crisis seems like they're popping up all over the place. We had COVID. Now the World Health Organization is talking about monkeypox and a global health emergency summit. Sounds like they're also gearing up for a bird flu summit any day now. And so what it feels like is they're setting the stage for another pandemic. And these aren't just coincidences. They're calculated moves to exploit our fear and to keep us under their control. And so we got to ask ourselves, are we prepared? Shocking 48% of Americans don't have any emergency supplies. That's according to the National Center for Disaster Preparedness. And so we saw how the pharmaceutical industries failed this last time. Do we want to let that happen again? No. That's why it's time to take control. Get your Contagion Emergency Medical Kit from the Wellness Company. It's packed with ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Z-Pak, Tamiflu, budesonide, many treatments that you can have available that they didn't want you to have. And so forget waiting in line. Get this stuff delivered to your door. That way it's just a few clicks away, and that way we're not caught off guard the next time. So act now, get prepared, get all this stuff delivered to your door so we're prepared for the next pandemic. Be proactive, and you can get yours today by going to twc.health/Robert and get your Contagion Emergency Kit. You can use promo code Robert at checkout. You'll save $30 when you do that. And once again, it's twc.health. twc.health/Robert. Use code Robert. Just use the link down in the description below. It'll be much easier. Remember, these kits are limited. They're only available in the United States. And thanks for supporting our sponsors, our friends over at the Wellness Company. And use the link, twc.health/Robert, or just click the link. It's linked down everywhere in the description below. All right, so now, without any further ado, let's get into the business. Fact check on Kamala and her abortion claims during the debate with Trump. They said that there were no late-term abortions happening anywhere, and Lindsay Davis came out and told us that there was no evidence that that was happening, and she phrased it in a very condescending way. She says, it's not legal to kill babies. And you say, okay, well, that's a very interesting interpretation of what's happening. You say they're not doing that. Many other people, their opinion is they are doing that. But we'll leave that aside. This is more evidence that this conversation is happening and the Democrats are endorsing it. In fact, many states, as has been reported by numerous entities, including ABC News themselves, back in June, they said abortion access in the United States post-Dobbs. Look at all these states that allow it. You can see, breaking this down, there's a near total ban on abortion in a bunch of these ultra-red states. You see Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all voted. Then it's 6 weeks in states like Georgia, South Carolina, Florida. Then it goes up to 12 weeks in some of the purple states, North Carolina, Nebraska, up to 15 weeks in places like Arizona, 18 weeks in Utah, 20 to 26 weeks in the states in green, California, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, Illinois, and then up to the third trimester in Virginia. Okay, all the way up to the third. So first third, you're fine. Second third, you're fine. Third, you're no good. But then look at these other blue states. In D.C., which is the district, well, we've also got Maryland, New Jersey, Vermont, Minnesota, Colorado, New Mexico, and Oregon. No restrictions based on gestational duration. That is over from the ABC News. And there was another link on this, another clip on how this works, over from Axios, right? They reported the same thing. Here's the map. Much the same. No defined limit in 8 states, according to Axios, on their analysis on this. State laws surrounding abortion have been in flux in the years since. And so what we're seeing here is that there are states where you can go in the last trimester, maybe perhaps even the last month, and get the procedure done. And so this is what it sounded like when this woman was debating this bill on the floor of her House legislature, explaining how this would work to the chairman of this committee.
Delegate Tran.
Yes, sir.
How late in a pregnancy would your bill apply if a physician was simply willing to certify that the continuation of the pregnancy would impair the mental health of the woman? How late are we talking about?
Well, so the way the suggestion that we've made in the bill is to say it's in the third trimester and at the, with the certification of the physician. So
how late in the third trimester would you be able to do that?
It's very unfortunate that our physicians, witnesses, were not able to attend today to speak specifically.
No, I'm talking about your bill. How late in the third trimester could a physician perform an abortion if he indicated it would impair the mental health of the woman?
Or physical health.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm talking about the mental health.
So, through the third trimester. The third trimester goes all the way up to 40 weeks.
Through.
Okay, but to the end of the third trimester.
Yep, I don't think we have a limit in the bill.
So,
Closing her eyes like, oh gosh, I know this is awful, but I have to do this.
where it's obvious that a woman is about to give birth, she has physical signs that she is about to give a birth, would that still be a point at which she could request an abortion if she was so certified?
It's 1 inch away. 1 inch away.
She's dilating.
Like gonna pop.
Mr. Chairman, that would be a decision that the doctor, the physician, and the woman would make.
I understand
at
that. I'm asking
point.
if your bill allows that.
My bill would allow that.
Wow.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so my bill would allow that. So the baby's 1 inch away is a clump of cells until it comes through that little physical barrier. Then it is suddenly, I guess it's still not even, like, what if it's like halfway out? I don't know. Does your bill address that? What if it's just like poking out? Just like a little poke. Is it now a baby? What's the deal? Very confusing times. So the governor who endorsed this ideology, and Kamala and Lindsey Davis and the rest of the Democrats who say, la, 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 this is not happening. You're all making it up. Shut up. You're all just anti-women's rights or something. Okay. This is what the governor said about it when he was explaining how it works and why we need to leave this to a physician.
No exception. There was a very contentious committee hearing yesterday when Fairfax County Delegate Kathy Tran made her case for lifting restrictions on third trimester abortions, as well as other restrictions now in place. And she was pressed by a Republican delegate about whether her bill would permit an abortion even as a woman is essentially dilating, ready to give birth. And she answered that it would permit an abortion at that stage of labor. Do you support
I don't think she said that.
Explain her.
I don't think she said that it would prevent an abortion. I think she said it wouldn't.
Answer.
Yeah, and I wasn't there, Julie, and I certainly can't speak for Delegate Tran.
Did I miss that?
I would tell you first thing I would say is this is why decisions such as this should be made by providers, physicians, and the mothers and fathers that are involved. there are, when we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done.
What is the decision to make? I guess is it a life or death decision? That's what we're asking. Like, is it a life or death decision? Is something wrong? Is the mom going to die and the baby's going to die, and it's a life or death situation? That's kind of what we're asking about.
With the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way. And it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable. So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen.
What would happen?
The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a
Yikes.
discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. So I think this was really blown out of proportion. But again, we want the government not to be involved in these types of decisions. We want the decision to be made by the mothers and their providers. And this is why, Julie, that legislators, most of whom are men, by the way, shouldn't be telling a woman what she should and shouldn't be doing with her body.
And do you think multiple physicians should have to weigh in, as is currently required? She's trying to lift that requirement.
Well, I think it's always good to get a second opinion, and for at least two providers to be involved in that decision, because these decisions shouldn't be taken lightly. And so, I would certainly support more than one provider.
All right, let's go back to the phones now.
Okay, so you just heard what he said. Basically, they just, I guess, leave the baby there. The baby sounds like it's alive, and then they decide what to do about it and just kind of leave it there to squirm and rigor and pain, make it comfortable. Now, there was a lot of effort to try to stop this stuff from happening, right? We've got this is the breakdown of the country. 8 states, no defined limit, because people like Tran, their bills got passed that now have no upper limit as to what the cap is. And you can just kind of do it, sounds like, any time, anywhere, any day. Now, Posobiec also clipped this from ABC News. He's saying, this is interesting. Hey, David, you guys should have checked your own news sources, because you do not prohibit, even in Minnesota, abortion based on how far along a woman is. And you guys wrote that in your own news articles. So what happens if it is look, it says no limit. So why wouldn't somebody come in there at 9 months? Now you might say maybe it's a small number, or maybe it's detestable or something. And I can't believe that would happen. Like somebody would come in at 8 months and 2 weeks or whatever and just come in. But the law allows it. And we're presuming they're fighting so hard for that because they want it in there, right? If they just said, you're right. No, nobody's doing it. Actually, nobody's doing it anyways. And you're right, because they shouldn't be doing it. So we're just capping it at 9 months here. Just be happy with that. No, it is their sacred calf. They're not going to let anyone touch it. Not even a little bit. So shout out to Ann Coulter for flagging this one. She said, here it is, ABC bimbo. House Democrats and their official response when Congress tried to pass the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act. Because if you actually look into the process, it's pretty kind of insane. They go in there, they kind of, we'll just leave the specifics of how it works. You can look that up if you want to lose your stomach. But then so the baby could be born alive, theoretically, and something could be wrong with the process, the procedure. And so what happened is the Republicans came up with a plan. They said, this makes a lot of sense. Let's just go ahead and pass this just to make sure that we're not in this situation where it's a close call, right? If it's a close call, okay, 9 months is like pretty close. 8 months is like pretty dang close to like a full cooked baby. It's like, kids like tap dancing in the womb in there, just poking around and stuff. So feels like maybe we don't have close calls in that gray area range, so that we don't get into that nuance where a woman is dilating, like that man just said, like that committee chairman just asked that woman. So that we're not in that position where 2 inches is the difference between an adult live human and just a baby, not an adult, obviously, but a baby or a clump of cells that has no rights or protections at all. Very strange nuance there. So how about we just call the 9th month off or something? But no, they don't even want to do that. So the Republicans passed this, or actually did pass this in the House of Representatives. You can see this was the latest action is over in the Senate, where it's going to be on their calendar. Nothing's going to happen in the Senate because the Democrats love the Senate. And this is just what they live for. But it's called the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act. And you can see this is here what it says. It says Congress now finds that if an abortion results in the live birth of an infant, the infant is a legal person for all purposes under the law, right? That's what this bill would say. Something happens and the baby comes out and the baby's alive, that's a live person, right? That's it. Now, any infant born alive after an abortion or within a hospital, clinic, or other facility has the same claim to the protection of the law that would arise for any newborn or any person who comes to a hospital otherwise. So if they're born in there, they're a human. Now, in accordance with above findings, Congress enacts the following. They say Section 5 of the 14th Amendment, including the power to enforce the prohibition. Oh, so they can enforce the law because it's now denying equal protection of the laws. And they're finding under Section 8 of Article 1 that Congress has the power to, under the necessary and proper clause, to make these findings. This is where the authority comes from, is what they're saying. So here's the born alive protection. They would amend the code so that Section 1532 now reads, there is a requirement pertaining to born alive abortion survivors, saying in the case of an abortion or attempted abortion that results in the child being born alive, you are now must exercise the same degree of care that you'd give to any other child that's being born. And a healthcare practitioner who fails to comply with this, if a baby is born and the baby is not kept alive, that shall be reported to the government, state or local law enforcement. Now, whoever intentionally performs or attempts to perform an overt act that kills a child born alive, right, a child born alive, shall be punished under the law for intentional killing of a human being. So if that baby comes out, it's a human. Now, they're going to be scrambling against the clock on that one. So, which is sick. Bar to the prosecution, the mother of a child born alive may not be prosecuted under this. So no prosecutions of the mothers if the baby's born, okay? And if there is a problem, there'll be civil actions that can be brought against the people who are violating the law. Term abortion means to intentionally kill the unborn child of a woman known to be pregnant, and other labels. And so you can see this is where they would tuck it into the code. So the Republicans passed this in the House. It's going to go die in the Senate, and we'll see if it ultimately goes anywhere. But the Democrats hate it, man. They hate this bill. They don't want it to be passed at all. So they wrote that they oppose H.R. 26. They oppose this. The House Committee on the Judiciary, Democrats, said that the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act is unnecessary and it's dangerous, and it's going to interfere with the woman's right to choose and her doctor's ability to provide medical care, which is weird because they can provide all the medical care, but it's if the baby's born. Like they don't want to provide the medical care for the baby, I guess. Republicans want to imprison doctors who refuse to comply with their new rules. This bill is another step in the Republican plan to criminalize abortion nationwide. So vote no on this. They say H.R. 26 is a dangerous intrusion into medical decision making. Republicans want to override the medical judgment of the doctors. And also H.R. 26 may endanger the infants as well, which is weird because they're trying to stop them from killing the infants. Okay, but the bill's requirement that a practitioner ensure the immediate transportation of a newborn to a hospital may not always be in the best interest of the infant's health. So we don't have to take him to a hospital. It may be safer for them to just keep it there, where it was born, in the abortion clinic, with the chainsaws and buzzsaws, I guess. H.R. 26 is a solution in search of a problem. The law has always protected newborn infants, they say. Congress even passed the bipartisan Born Alive Infant Protection Act in 2002 to reiterate that even that law was unnecessary given protections already on the books. So they don't want it on there. They also say it's part of a Republican plan to enact nationwide abortion. Of course, overturning Roe was just the start. Now the extreme anti-abortion forces are going to be out in full. All right, so the point is they are fine and even introducing bills at the state level like Northam and Tran to allow abortions up until who knows what. It sounds like, according to Northam, they can even bring the baby out and just lay it on the table and just call it a day. So sick individuals out there. But a bunch of them voted for it. These are the Democrats who did. You can see a bunch of them here listed, voted against this bill because late-term abortions are amazing for them. But the fact check, I think, is pretty unequivocal. What they were saying, that there are no late-term abortions, they didn't fact check Trump on that one or Kamala on that one. They said, would you sign a national abortion ban? And he was asking the same question. Are you okay with 7-month, 8-month, and 9-month abortion? And Kamala was throwing her head all over the place, saying that it wasn't something that happens. It's clearly happening. People like this are introducing bills in order to get it done. So that's one update over there. Now, as we carry this puppy on, maybe puppy was the wrong term to use for this segment. Another fact check about cats and dogs and geese has the media in a tizzy. You see, this was the exchange between Trump and the moderator, so-called David Muir, the partisan biased hack from ABC News, who was there to gang up on Trump so he could go back and high five with Lindsay after the show was over. But he was fact-checking Trump on this dog in Springfield claim. Remember this one?
Up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
But the people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the city
saying their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Verify here. You bring up
Okay,
Springfield.
so he says he saw it on the TV. Now, there's a couple things that we could point out. Maybe it wasn't exactly Springfield where the dogs were being eaten or the cats are being eaten. Maybe it's a different location. Maybe the animal was wrong. Maybe it was not dogs or cats. Maybe it was geese. A lot of different permutations about this story. But what's so interesting about this story is it's just almost an analogy. It's a metaphor for an underlying problem. It's symbolic of a deeper crisis that exists in our country. It's that we've got a real big clash happening between citizens and non-citizens and the government bringing people in who are not a part of the country already and saying, you're a part of the country now. And we're having tension build amongst many communities throughout the country and the world. It's not just in the United States. It feels like it is the downfall of many Western countries on the back of unfettered immigration. But that exchange happened. And so people are pointing back to Trump's claim. Is this something that is happening? Are there strange situations where migrants are taking animals that shouldn't be taken to eat them? Well, yes, that is exactly what's happening. You see, this is the latest from Attorney General David Yost. He is the Attorney General for Ohio. He pointed out for us, the AG, he says, hello, there's a recorded police call, okay, from a witness who saw immigrants capturing geese for food in Springfield. Citizens testified to city council about this too. These people would be competent witnesses in court. They're calling and making police reports. This one guy that we'll listen to, which means he is avowing that that is a truthful statement. You know, it's illegal to make false police reports. Wouldn't do that. It's not a hoax type of a game. So he says, why does the media find a carefully worded City Hall press release to be better evidence? Well, because it's more convenient, obviously. Local news is also reporting on his story over there, saying that the Ohio AG knocks the media over the animal hunting claims, confirming what Trump said. Says J.D. Vance also on Tuesday shared his office and that they also had reports that his office said they said household pets were being abducted by Haitian migrants. The senator noted he could not verify these claims, but he said, yeah, sounds right. Now, someone says that he said, do you know what's confirmed? He asked via X. Said JD, that a child was murdered by a Haitian migrant who had no right to be here, that local health services have been overwhelmed, that communicable diseases like TB and HIV have been on the rise, that local schools have struggled to keep up with newcomers who don't know English, that rents have risen so fast that many Springfield families can't afford to put a roof over their head. We have a national attention now over alleged eating of cats, says a resident identified by the city council. He said, but I looked on the menu at 3 or 4 restaurants here today, man, and I don't see roasted fluffy nowhere on it. It's nuts. Well, I mean, they're not going to tell you that you're serving you cat, you know, obviously. You know those little Roberto's, those like Roberto's restaurants, you know, on the side? Be careful, some of those. A lot of them are actually delicious, but, you know, some of them you got to be careful. It depends where you are. The good thing is we have the nation's attention. Maybe it's in Springfield, you know, one of those Bertos or, you know, whatever it is. There's a recorded police call from a witness who saw immigrants capturing geese in Springfield. And so maybe it's not dogs, okay? Maybe Trump was wrong. It's not dogs. It's actually geese. The Federalists, Trump got fact-checked. Well, man, they got him big time on that. What a buffoon. He can't run a country if he doesn't know the difference between dogs and cats. Forget the fact that migrants are coming in and eating them. Nothing to do with that. He should know his farm animals better. Here's the phone call. The Federalist got a copy of it. Here's what it sounds like.
Clark County Communications.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I got a question. This is a non-emergency line, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm sitting here. I'm riding on the trail going to my orientation for my job today. And I see a group of Haitian people. There was about 4 of them. They all had geese in their hand. They got away. I couldn't make out the first 3 of the license plate, but I got the numbers. The last numbers was 9898, and it was a gray Toyota Tacoma they took off on.
There you go. Suspect identified.
It was about...
FBI should be all over this. Animal cruelty. How are they just commandeering public ducks? Okay, that's public property. Those animals are attached to that property, and that is theft of public goods and services. Those geese are there for public enjoyment. They can't go and steal those geese.
4 of them. There was 2 men, 2 women. I couldn't tell the age because I'm in a hurry going to this orientation, so I don't be late.
What direction did they go?
They went up towards the middle of towards downtown.
Okay, and what path are you on?
Right now, hold on just a second. I'm coming to the intersection of. Give me a second here. It says Water and Warder Street.
Water and Warder. Is that the area you saw them?
Yes. It was about 2 minutes back behind me. I was trying to get my phone out and trying to make it to this orientation on time. I'm time crunching here. And I saw that. I'm like, yeah, this has got to be reported.
So how many geese did they have?
They each had 1.
Lunch. They were getting lunch and dinner.
Now, the Toyota Tacoma did look like a newer model.
And what's your name, sir?
My name is... It's hot out here today.
I'm sorry, what's your last name again? Your phone number is that... Okay, we will put this out to our cars and see if we can't find them. Thank you so much for calling in.
You're welcome, and if I happen to see them again, I'll try to give you a call back and get a better license plate for you.
What a hero, trying to save those geese that are being rounded up, 1 per man, by the migrants. That's a police report. And you see something is also confirmed here. We saw some of this yesterday. Let's zoom in on it. Libs of TikTok assembled this for us. Seeing here, Clark County Communications Center was the call. Nature, larceny, theft of geese. Snyder took the call. Priority 3. We'll get to it. Perelman arrived on scene, completed the call incident. Did he see any geese heads? Who knows? One responding officer. They closed it out, it looks like. So here's the call. 2 males, 2 females, all Haitian. Gray Toyota Tacoma. Oh, it's lunch. It was like a lunch date. Oh, that's cute. So he says they're all Haitian. It was created in Intellicom. Access the case via the following. All right, there it is. Report each had 1 goose. Snyder reports 4 geese stolen. Oh, what a great call that is. What a great call. Toyota's a newer model. RP reporting party saw them first on the bike path. Called reporting party. He referred them on to ODNR, provided contact number for them. Reporting party said he could tell they were Haitian because he was within earshot of them and he could hear them speaking Haitian Creole, but he could not get a complete license plate or a photo of them. Case completed. And that's the story. All right, maybe Trump was a little bit off on the animal. Yes, and maybe it wasn't, there was a report of them eating dogs, but they're definitely eating geese. And maybe the dogs were in a different city. But that is another moment where they did not need to weigh in on that, right? This is something where Kamala, she's fully capable of, I would think, responding to that. Why did they have to fact check him but not her? It's because it was a 3-on-1, obviously. And you can really see this tiny podium they gave her. You can see how tiny it is. Look how tiny it is. She looks like in one of those weird houses in Disneyland or a circus, or like the mirrors are really small. Looks like a tiny little miniature person back there. All right, so that's Kamala. And another lie about the migrants. Now, the migrants are... The story is a memified story, right? It's been turned into symbolic of a much greater problem. Everyone wants to say Fluffy the cat because Fluffy the cat is not really exactly Fluffy the cat. It's really our community. It's in our entire country. Let's save Fluffy America. We do not want Fluffy to be killed. So that is the latest on that one. Now, let's turn our attention to another major issue. Kamala also lied about this one. A January 6 lie emerged during the debate with Trump, and it was not an isolated incident. Our friend Julie Kelly clipped this one, says that she was stunned at this lie because Kamala, during the debate with Trump, said, I was at the Capitol on January 6. I was the vice president-elect, and I was an acting senator. I was there, and on that day, the mob, a violent mob, attacked our nation's capital to desecrate our nation's capital. Now, on that day, 140 law enforcement officers were injured, she says. We'll review that. And some died. Lie. That's a lie, and the second one is a lie. The first one is that she was there on the Capitol, at the Capitol when the riot took place. She left. The other is that some died. No, they did not on that day. And understand, the former president has been indicted and impeached for exactly that reason. And so obviously he was acquitted in his impeachment by the Senate. And the January 6th indictment is brought by an illegitimate prosecutor called Jack Smith that a federal judge said was illegitimate and dismissed the whole case that was the classified documents case in Florida. So now we see 4 lies in this one sentence. I was there. I was there. I was there. No, you weren't. I mean, you were there that day, but you left before anything happened because you went over to the DNC and hung out with the pipe bomber. Or right outside where the pipe bomb was. And on that day, the president of the United States incited a Capitol mob, she says, to attack our capital, to desecrate our nation's capital. And 140 law enforcement officers were injured and some died. And understand that the former president has been indicted for exactly that reason. Now, the truth is that according to some even camera footage, she left at 11:21 in the morning. Free State Will says that newly released Capitol CTV footage shows that Kamala Harris exited the Capitol at 11:20 in the morning on that day. The government filed indictments in the January 6 cases for almost a year, falsely claiming that Harris was still in the Capitol building. And so let's watch this. We'll let this play through for a quick second. And we fast forward a little bit. See where Kamala comes in. And I didn't even see where she left. They're all in mass, so it's hard to tell. I think that might have been her right there. As we fast forward through this. Maybe that was her also leaving there. Hard to tell specifically which one is her. But this is a big question, all right? This is an open question. Where was Kamala at different locations throughout the day? Because she said she was in there like when this all happened. But there's Kamala. There it is right at the beginning. So she leaves right there at the beginning. I skipped over it. Boom, there she is. So she's leaving the building right there. That's the squad. She's gone. Not even there. Kamala's gone. So it says, I was there. No, you weren't. You were at the DNC. So you lied about that. And Free State Will, of course, has done some amazing reporting on that. And so we, of course, have seen him also do some digging on this. Says, I did a quick search trying to find a list of injured officers from January 6th. It turns out they counted irritated lungs as an injury, which could have been self-inflicted by their own pepper spray and gas. They also counted 38 officers who got COVID after January 6th among the injured. So you can see, according to the Post, 65 DC police officers suffered concussions, swollen ankles and wrists, bruises, irritated lungs from pepper spray. Officers were pushed downstairs, trampled and punched. 81 officers were assaulted, but the extent of their injuries was not detailed in reports. So, yeah, the bruises and the irritated lungs from their own pepper spray that they were spraying all over the place. Concussion, 65 officers. 38 Capitol Police were testing positive for COVID. Oh, no. So they got COVID, and I'm sure they counted them in the injuries. Nearly 200 National Guard personnel were deployed to protect the Capitol in the weeks after the siege. They also tested positive as well. Yep, there you go. 38 Capitol Police officers got the COVID, and it's officers who responded to the riot. So count them in there as the injured, right? It was a major catastrophe. But in this one sentence, there are 4 lies. I was there before any of it happened, but don't act like you were there. Stolen presence, just like her vice president has stolen valor. And on that day, 140 law enforcement officers were injured, some with COVID. No one died that day. Brian Sicknick also died by natural causes. Here is the summary on this from uscapitolpolice.gov. The Capitol Police accepts the findings of the District of Columbia's office, Chief Executive Medical Officer Examiner, that Officer Brian Sicknick died of natural causes. Oh. They say that doesn't change the fact that Officer Sicknick died in the line of duty, courageously defending Congress and the Capitol. It actually does. Okay, it means that he died of natural causes the following day. So he didn't die in the line of duty. If he died that night, that day, yeah, that'd be different. The department continues to mourn the loss of our beloved colleague. The attack on our officers, including Brian, was an attack on our democracy. You guys didn't protect it at all. And you had dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of undercover agents there that nobody has given us a number on. For what reason? Because they're covering it up. So rest in peace to Brian Sicknick. I mean, I never would relish in someone's death at all, like they do, like they're sick freaks trying to exploit his death for a political cause. But no, he died of natural causes, and you can read the report. We've covered this a million times, but they're liars. They continue to dishonor people for their own naked political gain because they are total maniacs when it comes to being honest about anything. So here's a clip from J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance was out talking about the pet eating controversy, and here is what J.D. said in the aftermath of the pet story, the Trump vice presidential nominee.
I would say is he brought up this misleading false claim that you yourself have talked about in recent days about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, abducting people's pets and eating them, which officials there have said is not true. You yourself acknowledged it may be false on Twitter. You still told people to keep spreading it. But Trump just amplified it to tens of millions of people who were watching. Why push something that's not true?
Well, first of all, city officials have not said it's not true. They've said they don't have all the evidence.
They said they have no evidence.
We've heard from a number of constituents on the ground, Caitlin, who both firsthand and secondhand reports saying this stuff is happening. So they very clearly, meaning the people on the ground dealing with this, think that it is happening. And I think that it's important for journalists to actually get on the ground and uncover this stuff for themselves when you have a lot of people saying my pets are being abducted or geese at the city pond are being abducted and slaughtered right in front of us. This is crazy stuff. And again, whether those exact rumors turn out to be mostly true, somewhat true, whatever the case may be, Caitlin, this town has been ravaged by 20,000 migrants coming in. Healthcare costs are up. Housing costs are up. Communicable diseases like HIV and TB have skyrocketed in this small Ohio town. This is what Kamala Harris's border policies have done. And I think it's interesting, Caitlin, that the media didn't care about the carnage wrought by these policies until we turned it into a meme about cats. And that speaks to the media's failure to care about what's going on in these communities. If we have to meme about it to get the media to care, we're going to keep on doing it because the media should care about what's going on.
I saw you say.
And it was a good metaphor for all of the problems that exist in America. Another fact check for Kamala was about her defund the police position. Kamala said that she wanted to make all sorts of radical changes in the aftermath of George Floyd, including releasing the protesters who were responsible for the riots and the torching of Minneapolis, Minnesota in the aftermath of that incident. And during the debate, you can see when Trump called her out specifically and said she wanted to release people who were burning down the city that her governor, vice president, was supposed to be protecting, she's shaking her head no. And where was the fact check on this one?
She went out in Minnesota and wanted to let criminals that killed people, that burned down Minneapolis, she went out and raised money to get them out of jail. She did things that nobody would ever think of. She went out.
She did do that. And you see Kamala shaking her head right there like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. But yes, you did. And Kamala wasn't responding to that. They didn't ask her about any of that. This type of stuff is extremely pertinent to the election because her tweet is still up, still on the same account. Says if you're able to chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. The same ground in Minnesota where the governor's wife, his weird wife, was saying that she opened up the windows so she could get a nice sniff of the burning, smoldering cauldron of simmering hell that her husband has allowed to fester in her state. I love the smell of burning small businesses in the morning. Yes, that's equity out there. Open those windows so I can smell it. So Kamala literally has this. It's still on her post. Now, she wrote this June 1st, 2020. That was right in the aftermath of George Floyd. We covered it at length here. Derek Chauvin's in prison because George Floyd had fentanyl, meth, many other items in his blood, arterial sclerosis, hypertension in his heart. His arteries were like 80-90% clogged. He was having breathing problems in the back of the police cruiser before he even hit the ground with a knee on anywhere. So, yeah, it's very curious that Kamala is going to be shaking her head and the media is not calling her out on this at all. They just ignore it completely. But then they give Trump bizarre hypotheticals about abortion. Would you sign some weird hypothetical if it maybe came up sometime? Now, if you click that link and you follow what she did, this is where it takes you. It says donate to the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Make a donation to the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Your support will help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. That's Kamala. Literally, help them get out of jail so they can go and continue to burn the rest of the city down. Another lie from Kamala, shaking her head. You certainly did. You are a big defund the police person. You ran on that. And you also you've changed your perspective many times on this. Kamala's a shameless liar, as we've said before, because even when she was running as the DA in San Francisco and the Attorney General of California, She was at one point very staunchly opposed to the death penalty. No death penalty, no death penalty, no death penalty, which I think is the right position personally, because our government's incompetent. They can't do anything well, like let alone judge somebody and put them to death. That's how incompetent they are. But there's a lot of people who disagree with me on that. Many of you probably do. And there's a big contingent of police and law enforcement and others who want the death penalty. They want it aggressively. So when Kamala got in power, she, of course, appealed anything that was challenging the death penalty, and the death penalty exists in California, arguably because she appealed that decision that has enabled it. So she's a flip-flopper through and through. She just says whatever she needs to in order to get elected. She really has no values, which is why when she's asked about everything changing, she just says, I have values, because her values change all the time. But here is another lie. Kamala clearly does not want fracking to happen. This has been her position forever until she started running 2 months ago and is now adopting a more mainstream Republican Trump position. She said this unequivocally when she was running against Joe Biden in a prior conversation on CNN, that she is in favor of banning fracking.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah, and starting with what we can do on day one around public lands, right? And then there has to be legislation. But yes, and this is something I've taken on in California. I have a history of working on this issue. And to your point, we have to just acknowledge that the residual impact of fracking is enormous in terms of the impact on the health and safety of communities.
Yeah, so you have to stop it, yeah.
So thank you.
So would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes.
What?
And I've, again, worked on that.
Wow, ban fracking, ban offshore drilling. 2 right there, 1 for 1. Okay. And then she came out on the debate stage and lied about all of that and says, no, that was never her position. She said that in 2019, then she flopped it in 2020 when she became Joe Biden's vice presidential candidate. She just lies. It's wild. She can't even stick to a position for any length of time. And so what's been so fun about this and kind of horrifying is that all the fact checking came from one side. And as we said yesterday, I think that there's a silver lining on all of this, that Trump ultimately is now being vindicated is the word that we awoke with today. We talked about it this morning on our members only stream where we had our fresh take on the day. We were explaining that Trump, every time the bullies come out and bully him, they vindicate everything he's been complaining about. And RFK Jr. is doing the same, right? RFK Jr. was somebody who was a literal Democrat, left, got abused by them, and is now vindicating Trump, joining the team and saying, yes, total vindication. Everything Trump has been saying is right. They're bullies, cheaters, and liars. They were trying to throw us off the ballot too and prosecute us. And I'm showing up in court. He's spending $10 million to defend himself. So if they're going to do that to him in that arena, and now we get to see them in the media, 3-on-1 tag team Trump, we all get to observe it. We all go, wow. Trump's right. He keeps talking about the enemy of the people, right? The media being in that camp. And then they do something like this and we all go, oh yeah, I remember that. Because it just doesn't feel fair. And I think more than anything, people can, in their core, as much as you may like or dislike Trump or Kamala, you still want to see a good fight, don't you? You still want to see a good battle. Like, you want to see 2 prize fighters get in the ring and go at it. You don't want to see a rigged game. It's not interesting to rig the game, to have the refs who are just, oh, that's a foul. No, he didn't even touch the guy. Yes, you did. No, that's not, sorry, that didn't count. That point didn't count. You're out of bounds. What? Yes, it was. It makes the whole thing uninteresting and quite lame. And then we see that, and then Kamala's like, happy, yeah, frivolity and joy. And no one can buy it because what are you celebrating? Your little tag team bully fest, and Trump survived that as well. So it feels like you're celebrating giving yourself a pat on the back, and that's just really embarrassing for you to do that. And CNN was just as shameless as well. Our friend Scott Adams posted this. He says, I thought this was a joke when I first saw it, but no, it's not a joke. CNN only caught 1 Harris lie. Okay, we just went through about 7 of them today. How is this real? He says. Kamala Harris, false claims made during the debate, 1. Trump, 33. It's just total state media. It's no different than what you see in V for Vendetta or what you picture China is like, which is probably a lot even less worse than this. But It's just total shilling for Kamala. We just listed multiple lies today. How many did we talk about? I don't know, maybe more, maybe many more than 7. But there were a lot of them out there. And the media is, I think, out of tune with the actual people of America. As we have seen, the polls and some of the reactions are saying that Kamala didn't quite hit it. The fact that she wants another debate so quickly is saying maybe she wants to try to hit it again. And she feels like she left something left unsaid. And so here is a montage of all the fact checks that happened against Trump, none of them against Kamala.
Crime in this country is through the roof.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country.
Her vice presidential pick.
And the FBI has a fake report where they precluded a number of the key cities.
Abortion in the 9th month.
Yep, we just saw 8 states that allow that to happen.
Is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born.
Yeah.
Is okay.
On the table, he just described that. We make a decision with mom and dad what to do.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
Yes, apparently it is. And that woman, well, she how she phrased it, and that's not exactly what Trump said. It's the baby is being kind of allowed to die. They're calling it that, right? They're not saying that they're allowed to kill a baby. Like, that's not the law. Nobody's saying you can go out there and just like walk around the mall and just be like, oh, that looks like a good one, and just start whacking kids off. Like, that's true. Can't do that. But it's a sort of partial birth, after birth medical care decision where the abortion goes bad. And so you kind of started it late, but then it comes out like the woman's dilated and you can still make the decision. And all these things are happening. So it's not that. Trump didn't say, like, she could have asked him a question like, well, there's no state in this country where you can use a sword to decapitate children. It's like, well, okay, I didn't say that either. They're calling it an abortion, but the child is emerging alive and laying on the table, as Northam just described for us.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating.
Might have been geese, but close enough.
Cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Yeah, in the ponds. Those are pets. I used to go with mom. I love you, mom. She'd take the boys to the park, let us run around for like 30 hours. So we burn ourselves out. We go feed the goose, throw stuff at them, you know, kids, boys, how we do things. And they were great. I love the geese.
You bring up Springfield,
don't want to eat them.
And ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
And so it was nonstop. None of that came back towards Trump because, I'm sorry, towards Kamala, because they were in the take against Trump. They were just lobbing volleys to Kamala, setting her up. It was like a t-ball game. Think you can hit this one, Kamala? She's like, I'd love to. Set up another one and another one and another one. And everybody could feel it. Even RFK was saying the same. He was out in the spin room talking with a bunch of people. I have a few clips of RFK, who's now on Team MAGA.
The moderators. To me, it was a failed opportunity. I think the American people were failed tonight.
Yeah, I was disappointed by the evident bias of the moderators who were fact-checking constantly, kind of trivialities by President Trump, but didn't, as far as I saw, they didn't fact-check Vice President Harris a single time. But you're right, Sean, the party that I grew up in doesn't exist anymore. The party of Robert Kennedy and John Kennedy was a party of peace. It was the party of resisting the corporate subversion of American democracy. It was the party of civil rights and constitutional rights, particularly censorship.
Not anymore.
Very opposed to censorship and surveillance. It was the party of protecting the most vulnerable people in our society, including particularly children. Today, the Democratic Party is the party of war. It's the party of censorship. It's the party of surveillance.
And Big Pharma and many other big corporate conglomerates. Here was some more. He also jumped on with this guy.
What are you looking for from Donald Trump?
All right, so that was an old clip. Now, here was one from ABC News, and they came after Kamala a little bit, it sounds like, says she was asked if she believes that Americans are better off now than they were 4 years ago. She didn't even answer the question, as we saw.
Vice President Harris was asked if she believes Americans are better off now than they were 4 years ago. And frankly, as you pointed out, she didn't answer the question. She instead pivoted to talk about, in broad brushstrokes, some of the policies that she's highlighting: small business tax credits, down payment assistance for home buyers, an expanded child tax credit. Vice President.
Yeah, nothing really substantive there other than giving stuff away. And so some final reaction from Tulsi Gabbard, who was also giving reaction to what she saw.
I think he clarified and told the truth about a lot of things that Kamala Harris accused him of that were outright lies. She was trying to tell the American people that he supports a federal abortion ban. He does not. She tried to tell the American people that he's trying to ban IVF, something that's personal to me because it's something that my husband and I, for years, tried to start our own family through the use of IVF. It didn't work out for us, works out for a lot of families. President Trump was quick on the draw when that Alabama court ruled, and he immediately said, no, we have to protect IVF, and the Alabama state legislature took action. She continued to say things. She's trying to say he's trying to ban birth control. That is also 100% false. So President Trump, I think, did a good job in clarifying the truth after Kamala Harris continued to lob lie after lie at him, saying things that he stood for that frankly just are not true.
Yeah, and I think that's because they're getting desperate, quite frankly. She sounded nothing like even a Democrat last night in many ways. She was thrilled about the Cheney endorsements. She was gung-ho behind Israel, right? Left nothing there. I think no daylight there, unlike Joe Biden, who was even a little bit squirrely on that issue. And issue after issue, she sounded like she wants lower taxes and a lot of platitudes when talking in those terms, right? Her vision was almost Republican-esque. She's trying to race towards the center. The problem is that's not who she is. That's not how the Harris-Biden administration has governed for the last 3.5 years. And there were a number of articles that are out there from the New York Times and others saying that this just didn't move the needle with the independents. The independent voters wanted more. They wanted more substance. And it shouldn't have been a situation where it was a 3-on-1. It's not interesting. We want to learn about these candidates in an open forum where we can explore some topics. But if Trump has to be on the defense after every question and after every rebuttal, then we can't get there. And Kamala offered nothing of substance. It was all just a dog pile, and I think it's going to backfire on them bigly. And so we are now going to hear from you, my friend. So that was some fact check stuff. We did some abortion, some cats and geese and other items, some J6 updates, defund the police, some fracking stuff, and more. We got reaction from RFK and JD Vance and Tulsi Gabbard. But now let's hear from you. Let's see what you say about all of this on the beautiful day. Very glad that we got to go through some of this together and debrief a bit. We also read through a bunch more. If you're looking for some more stuff, we talked about a little bit more about this morning on our members only stream. Had some good conversation about it there too. But it's been pretty much all debate all day today. And we'll see how long this continues on. And so let's see what you have to say about this, my friends. It's a beautiful day. We're going to check in with our friends on Locals, watching thewatchers.locals.com, where we're going to go for our members only after party as soon as we're done here in just a few short minutes. We've also got our friends on the YouTubes, and it's great to see everybody. So what's up? Marshall Stacks. So we got a new membo in the house. Marshall Stacks became a new membo. Marshall, great to see you. We'll see you, well, grab the morning stream from this morning. Tomorrow's schedule, we're probably going to do one stream only, and I'm not sure exactly on the time yet. So make sure your notifications are on if you want to join us live, because we got to get that scheduled. Schedule's a little bit wonky this week too. What's up? We got MJ Powell is in the house. Says the Trump rally Friday at 7 p.m. at the Expo World Market Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Get there early, okay? Take it from your boy here. Don't think you're just going to get there like, I was there like 4 hours early. Okay, so don't think you're just going to get there 4 hours early and get in. Just make it like 8 hours. I'm not joking about it. It was insane. The energy is insane. Have fun. Kyle Cowden, what's up, Kyle? Thanks for becoming a membo on the YouTubes. We'll see you on our next members only morning stream. It'll be great to see you there. What's up, Truth in Action? What's up? No, Truth Sleuth. Truth Sleuth. My apologies. think I was looking at something else over here. Truth Sleuth says, in California, their radical abortion law says no investigation can be initiated into the death of a baby up to 28 days after birth. Why? California expanded perinatal period to last for 28 days post-birth. So infanticide is legal in commie California. Fetus in Greek means unborn baby. Yeah, what do they say? I heard a phrase the other day, maybe it was earlier today, called the products of conception is what they called it. They didn't call it a fetus, they called it a product of conception or something. Something like that, which also seems a little bit elevated. They should call it a product of intercourse, right? Because that makes it really technical and just awful. But thank you for that. No, I did not know that. I'm not familiar with California's laws there. But I think what you're saying is 28 days, the kid's already got a name and is already like comfy in his crib and everything. He's like, yeah, this is great. Love this life. They're like, so here's the thing. I know you really like that formula that we got you, but we're going to have to take you back to the hospital or something. It's sick. Oh, it's wild. Well, I don't know. I don't know what Northam was talking about, but clearly what we do know is there are 8 states that have no upper bounds. Other states have upper bounds. They have no upper bounds. Why is that? If they want to just dispel of all of this, how about they just say, okay, look, anything in the last, can we just say, how about this? Can you just say 8 months and 3 weeks? Or whatever, okay? Just give us the final week of the 9 months. The final week, just 1 week, no abortions for that final week. You have all of it. Can you do that? I just want to know where the limits are. I want to know where the bounds are on their position. Would you agree to that? No, of course they wouldn't. They would not even touch that because they want that too. They want it all, baby. Without the baby. James Butler says, we are in a world with catless child ladies now. Yeah, even Taylor Swift is official. I think it's the new thing now. You can grow up, you too, young ladies out there, can grow up to be a childless cat lady. And I have nothing against cats. I love cats. I don't even have kids. But, I don't know if that's... They're weird with their labels. I really don't understand it. I don't know. Is it like us making fun of... I'm trying to think what's a similar thing that we do. Like, what do we call ourselves here that they probably say, you guys are dumb? Like, what do the lefties make fun of us about? They're over there on their dumb channels. We're conservatives, MAGA, Republicans, whatever they're doing over there. And they come over here and they're saying, making fun of me, saying, if they watch, they're not paying any attention to us, but if they were, they would say something like, oh, he's just calling themselves MAGA extremists. Like, oh yeah, hey, what's up, MAGA extremists? Welcome to the show type of thing. But I think that's better because it's like, I don't know, maybe it's the same because they think they're being oppressed, like childless cat ladies are being oppressed by abortion laws, like we're being arrested and threatened as Russian sympathizers and stuff. I don't know. Very complicated world. I don't know what the hell they're doing. What's up? Thank you for the conversation, James Butler, and that little whatever that was. Wendy Ty became a membo. Thank you, Wendy. Thanks for joining us as our newest membo. We got Jeffrey Adams in the house. What's up, Jeffrey Adams? Says Kamala. That's a good one too. Kamala. There was a lot of that going on. Big noxious odor last night too. Hey, Goose Toots. Oh no. Goose Toots is like on the run out there. Goose Toots is running around Ohio like, don't eat me, please, for the love. Eating geese, say it ain't so. And this is just appropriate because the profile picture here is of a cat. 2 endangered species in Democrat lands. Sergeant Willie, and thanks for being a membo, Goose, for 5 months. Hopefully you can make it to 9. I'm not sure. We'll see. Hey, Sergeant Willie, 15 months as a membo, almost 2 full babies, says it's not Fluffy. It's Donald Duck and Mother Goose. Donald Duck and Mother Goose are what's for dinner. Donald Duck and Mother Goose are for dinner. It's not Fluffy the cat. That's the fact check. We got our animals wrong. They're not eating cats, America. They're eating geese. And they're not yours. They belong to the park, so don't worry about it. Hey, Kimberly Benedict says the Benny Show on X posted about the cat in the tree. Oh, is that right? Okay, so I was going to say, it's just a matter of time until someone finds the cat story. Like, where's the cat story? Clearly, there's going to be a cat story coming out. So, all right, we found one. Shout out to the Benny Show for finding it. Sheila Pooh, a million hugs to you. Thanks for bringing in 10 new membos. Because of our current setup right now, I can't see specifically who the membos are, but very, very grateful to have you. You know who you are. Thank you, Sheila Poo, for bringing them in. 10 new amazing membos come in. And grab the morning stream. We had a whole nother stream this morning. That was a fun one. We got GB. What's up, GB? 5 membos. Thank you, GB, for being a membo and bringing in 5 new membos. Very nice to have you. We got Kimberly Benedict says, the X post was Captain Dreamer and the cat was hung. That's not appropriate. It's not appropriate at all. We love our furry friends here. Sheila Poo says, welcome new membos. Make sure you like and share, and let's grow this community as large and as strong as we can. Thank you, Sheila. Yes, I'm totally with you. Trump Vance 2024, baby. I love it, Sheila. Thank you for that. We love our community. We have such a good, awesome group of people here. It's amazing to be a part of it. I'm like, how'd this happen? I love you guys. What's up? Voice of the People says, the moment you realize childless cat ladies have toxoplasmosis, that's a parasite that makes you obsessed with cats. Is that right? It's like a brain, something or other in your brain. I don't know. Check with your doctor and your CDC on that. No unsolicited medical advice here. But is there something you can do about that? Or is that permanent? Is that TDS? Is that where that starts? I love cats, by the way. I think cats are amazing. And so I have no problem with people having cats at all. I think cats are great. I like dogs too. I like all animals. I have no problem with animals. But I know some people are very, very opposed. Like I've known cat people for sure. They're like, no dogs for me. And I've known dog people that are like, you like cats? I'm like, yeah. So what? Back off, punk. You want to fight about it right now? They're like, yeah, I do. I'm like, all right. So it does. It gets pretty intense pretty quickly. You know how it is out there. In fact, some of you are probably feeling that right now. You like cats as an animal? Yeah, of course I do. I think they're fun and interesting animals. Yeah, that's right. What's up? Patriot Rob says, why would anybody take advice from people that don't have children about what they should do with their children? That's a good question. Yeah. It's a good question. I don't know. Maybe because they have some perspective. Maybe because I think there's also there's another, like Elon wants everybody to have kids, like there's a societal urgency there. And I think that causes some maybe concern on the left, like they're going to be forced to be birthing women or something like that one novel. Maybe that's where that's coming from. I don't know. Hey, Jerome. What's up, Jerome? Membo for 6 months says, hey, Rob, Kamala is wrong. Period. Great. Best comment maybe of all time. It's exactly right. She is wrong. Dead wrong. And she's a liar, too. Thank you for that, Jerome. Very pithy, as Bill O'Reilly would say, and we're very grateful for those. Thanks for sending those in over on YouTube, my friends. And super, super nice of you to do that. We've got some friends on Locals that we'll say hello to. I see some friends on Rumble. What's up? Army Brats over there. Dog Diggers in the house. Modding the fort down for us. What's up, Dog Digger? Good to see you over there. What's up? And Lou's a membo. Dan Sundin's a membo. Lance in the house, membo. Dan Sundin, good to see you. And Lou, Adelia, Eric Scorpio, good to see everybody on the Rumbles. We've also got some friends on Locals. And so let's say hello to our friends on Locals. We're going to go over there and hang out for a little bit longer here in just a quick second. But look what we have. Knox Bierman is a defense attorney in Texas. Says, happy Wednesday, all. Says, Dems really are the party of death. All my daughters have struggled with infertility, and as an adopted person, I vote for letting a baby live. From Knox in Texas. Good to see you, Knox. Knox says, here is a lovely pro-life diaper service. Us old peeps can donate a month worth of diapers for moms and babies, and no, I am not in adult diapers yet. Well, I think we might all be there one day there, Knox. So, we'll see each other at some point. But everylife.com is the place to go get those diapers. That sounds like a nice place. Knox says, homeless guys have eaten pigeons forever. Why is this so unbelievable? Okay, as I said before, in Saipan, people fish every day, and if they run over a chicken, it's Sunday dinner. People wash their clothes in a fountain in Nepal, waiting for that one in Central Park. Just get used to it, okay? We might have to do the same thing, all right? Are you kidding me? Have you seen these inflation prices? We might all be out there with geese. You might have to learn how to get your geese, okay? Figure out, better start studying these Haitians. Maybe like hanging out the Haitians. Like, hey, how'd you get those? They're so fast. You got 3 of them, man. Where'd you get them? Well, you have no idea. You stupid Americans. You don't know how to catch your geese. We already got your geese. And you have no food now because Kamala. You're welcome. Hey, Tasadaka says, when I lived in Gulfport, Florida, there was a Chinese restaurant, and it was common to see skinned cats hanging in the kitchen as you walk through the alley and the rear door was open. That was over 30 years ago. Well, I'm sure the government authorities have cracked down on that one. Viva MAGA. What's up, Viva MAGA? Says, Rob, let me be clear. In the past, as the 9th month of locals membership came into play, at no time did I even consider aborting my little one, who I soon rap named Lil Membo. So we have babies here all the time, and we don't like to abort them. And if you're a third trimester baby here, meaning you've been a membo for 7, 8, or 9 months, don't abort your membership here yet. Okay, you're almost full term. Just give it another couple months and then let's see how it is. All right, let it come to term. That's my continuity pitch to you. Continue subscribing your membos so you don't kill our baby together. That's brutal, man. That's savage right there. That's it's pretty, that's a spicy one. Hey, Viva MAGA says, Rob, let me be clear. Okay, in the past, at the 9th month of locals membos, at no time I never considered aborting my little one. So Viva MAGA's new baby's coming out, and the new baby is going to be called Lil Membo in the house. Thanks for keeping Lil Membo and I forever entertained and informed. We can't wait for Lil Membo to be in the house. Man, it's gonna be hot when little Membo gets here. Sword Magic Helmet says, Rob, this is a link to a disturbing video of a Haitian woman being arrested in Ohio. The Haitian woman was caught in a driveway, literally eating the homeowner's cat. Well, I don't know. See, that was the one I think I saw. Ohio woman is accused of eating a cat is from a fact check. The Ohio woman is from Canton, not from Springfield, right? So that's the thing. Yeah, there was body camera footage of a cop who's like, smile, like open your mouth, smile, because he's taking a picture of her so he can see like the eating of the cat for evidence. We don't need to click it. Spud says, hey, make Alf great again. Remember when Alf was always eating the cats? Remember when illegal aliens who ate cats was just fiction? Good times. Now they're from foreign countries. This old guy says, what's up, this old guy? Speaking of cats, this old guy says, if Kamala agrees to another debate, you think that she might actually get a big girl podium. Yeah, she looked like a little mini-me over there on the end of the stage. Sword Magic Helmet says, Rob, Kamala's earrings appear to be Nova H1 earrings, which are the headset that function with iOS and Android. Apparently someone was feeding her the answers. I saw that. The company did a really great job on that. So there's a story going around that her earrings look like they're earbuds. And then there's a company that makes earbuds that look like earrings so that you can hear in them and that they look like you're not wearing earbuds, right? So it's for maybe hearing impaired or whatever. And the company is either they're actually those or the company is doing one of the best epic trolls ever because they asked the company for comment and the company came out and said, well, yeah, they look very similar to our product, so well, who knows? Maybe they are that. And so everybody's talking about it. Hi, Ines Fad says, I'm in the EU and so off to bed for me. This is my very favorite channel. Love you, Rob. Thank you, Ines Fad in the channel. Ines Fad in the channel. Good to see you. Thank you for that, Ines. Sweet dreams to you, my friend. Hope you have a beautiful slumber and you wake up feeling refreshed. Spud says, can Trump turn New York red? It looks like he's starting to do it. Lee Zeldin is saying here, there's a New York rally alert. Our next President Trump will be on Long Island next Wednesday in Nassau Coliseum. Doors open 3 p.m. We need everyone there. So Spuds, hopefully, are you going? This old guy says, Bob is definitely voting for Trump. Make American cats great again. There you go. Look at that right there. Shout out to that kitty. Shout out to that kitty. And yeah, man, that was the RNC. That's the RNC pick. Man, shout out to that cat. He's watching Trump make America great again. Man, make cats great again. Amazing. DeHook says, here's the cat post to the Springfield Crime Watch page. Warning to our beloved pets. My neighbor informed me that their daughter's friend has lost her cat. She checked pages. One day she came home from work. As she stepped out looking towards the neighbors where Haitians live, saw her cat hanging from a branch like you do a deer with butchering. They're carving it up to eat. I've been told they're doing this to dogs. They've been doing it to at Snyder Park. and ducks and geese. I was told that last bit by rangers and police, please keep a close eye on those animals. So that was like in a local, Crime Watch page. What's up, Milo? Phone bill says, lurking from cell phone, empty neater. I love both cats and dogs. Yeah, me too. They're good animals. Hey, what's going on? Woodchip Bill says, what about fish and game? You need a hunting license to take geese and ducks in Pennsylvania. Also, geese used to be federally protected. Last time I hunted geese, it was in October. In other words, there's a regular hunting season to hunt geese and ducks. Yeah, I guess we don't have a lot of geese experience here in Arizona, to be perfectly fair with you. Like, are there geese everywhere in Ohio? Like, to go find geese in Arizona, you got to go to like a park or a lake or something like that, and you'll find them. But they're not like everywhere. Like, are there just geese like floating around? So these guys are just, or they have to go like track these geese down? Are there geese everywhere? I don't know. Viva Maga says, a Lil Membo was born. Lil Membo, oh my gosh, Lil Membo's going to be 1 in February. Oh. Well, we're grateful to have Lil Membo. That's him walking around. We can see him now. Yeah, he's very advanced. So thank you for that, Viva Maga. Lil Membo is going to be 1, already up walking around already. Man, super talented. Okay, so my friends, thank you so much for sending in those donos. Thanks for hanging out with us today for our fact check debate debrief on the day. Tomorrow, we are going to come back. We're going to have a stream tomorrow. But the show is probably going to be a little bit earlier, and we're going to see what else is cooking with some trials, some cases, and some other items tomorrow, earlier stream. And so I'll let you know when that is going to be scheduled as soon as it's scheduled. So thanks for turning on your notifications and getting that situated so that we don't miss you, because we want to see you tomorrow. So before we wrap it up, we're going to go over and say what's up to a couple friends on X. Then we're heading on over to locals to debrief. Kalina is in the house. B. Torn is in the house. Good to see James Pepper is over there. And George, good to see you, George. Yeah, we've got care clinics. Yeah, so some care clinics are also saying up to 35 weeks. Interesting stuff. Okay, some good comments. What's up, Robert the Great? What's up? Azok is in the house. Maynor is in the house, showing us some barbecues. Bob Irons doesn't like the show. That's okay. George says the FBI says that crime is down. Is that the same FBI that said that the laptop is not Russian disinformation, or is Russian disinformation? Good stuff over on X. Good to see everybody over there, and some fun images over there too. So, my friends, we are going to leave it there on this beautiful day. Oh, we had a couple donos that came in. Oh my goodness, I almost missed these. Rob. Let's see. What's this one? Hey, what's going on? This one from Patriot Rob. Man, it's good to see you, YouTube. Sorry, I almost missed these. Says, Patriot Rob says, Trump needs to be elected. Right, meow. And I saw a Babylon Bee article that was shared on our stream this morning that said there was a cat holding up a sign that said, meowch, like he was being bitten. Like meowch, like he was being eaten, like don't eat me, meowch. It's funny. Hey, Buffy Chetty says, been here since the old name, brother. Whew, says, thank you for your service. Give us some of your best hair tips. Always impeccable, brother. Oh, gosh, hair tips. I don't know. I should be getting a haircut tomorrow, actually, because it's getting a little bit unruly recently, and got to do something about it. What do I do for it? I have some stuff that I get from the hair guy. I don't even know what it's called. Blow dryer. I do blow dry. So blow dry, the kind of thing. That's the thing. That's the secret right there. That's probably the secret little the blow dryer, really. And then the right sauce up there, and you just kind of, does its thing. Thank you for the nice compliment, Buffy. Been here since the old last name, and it's great to have you here. And I was trying to think when that was. I still get stuff in the mail with the old last name and everything, but it's almost totally gone, which is good. What's up? Jennifer says, today is Voice of the People's birthday. Happy birthday, Voice of the People. Whoa, a 9/11 birthday. Man, happy birthday to you. And we're glad that you're celebrating that. Hopefully you're doing something fun today, enjoying it. Another Virgo in the house. Shout out to our Virgos. It's in good company. And yeah, it makes sense, Voice. It makes a lot of sense. Good to see you. Thanks, Jennifer, for shouting it out. Happy birthday to Voice of the People. Happy birthday to you. All right. We got CGI Joe, 8 months as a membo, 1 month till we have a new baby, says it's getting hot in here. Yeah. And that could be taken a number of different ways. But probably since we're pregnant, it's probably the baby who wants to get out of the womb, I would say. Right, CGI Joe? Is that maybe? Finn Contracting, 10 months as a membo. What's up, Finn? Thanks for being here. Says 10 months. Cheers to life. It's good to see you, Finn. Finn Contracting in the house. Shout out to our contractors, man. Shout out to our contractors. I did some swimming pools, swimming pool contracting. I was basically a GC for swimming pools. Built them from design to startup. Did everything. And I learned a lot. We love our contractors, man. Shout out. Goose Toots, 5 membos, in a reminder to save the geese. Thank you, Goose Toots, and welcome aboard 5 new membos. 1 year anniversary from the RP Games. Good to see you, the RP Games. 1 year. Says the debate was his to lose, and he didn't flat out win. I think that's... Kamala could have also lost it. And, she could have really botched it. I think she overperformed. I think Trump was in an impossible situation. It was a 3 versus 1. Every question, every topic was oriented against him. And he came out status quo. No fails, no major knockout blows, status quo. And the whole debate was about him. It wasn't about Kamala at all. So we got to hear him defend himself, and we got to hear no vision from her. So I think it was ultimately disappointing for everybody. And I think it also seemed unfair. I think people recognized that it was a 3-on-1 dogpile ambush type of an event. And that leaves people with the bad, disgusting taste in their mouths. What's up, Finn Contracting? Thank you, Finn. 5 membos coming in, courtesy of Finn Contracting. We appreciate it, Finn. Thanks for being here. And welcome aboard, new friends. And Sketch Therapy, 3 months as a membo, says if it could live out of utero, it should not be terminated. If it can live out of utero, it should not be terminated. And I think this is where people get into the adjustments, right? Like you could really take a kid out very, very young and keep that kid alive with very intensive care, or you could wait and it's a lot less intensive care. But they don't want anything. As I said, would they give you the last week? Would they just give you the last week for like margin of error? Let's just agree on the last week of the term. The final week. Would you even do that? No, they wouldn't. Because it's their sacred golden calf. It's their issue. It's always women's rights, women's rights, women's rights, even if it's not about women's rights. It's about making women into a useful, pliable bucket of voters. That's all it is. Just like they do with everybody else. Oh, you're in this demographic, or you're in this religion, or you're this color, or you're this orientation. And so therefore, you automatically vote as the Democrats vote. Well, they can do that with every other color, race, or demographic or whatever. They got to get the women, though. So how do they get the women? Oh, it's women's rights. Singles them out, and then we see these laws that come into place that are is that really about women's rights still? When we're talking about like the last week, abortions during the last week? Is that right? Is that what that is? Okay. Because there's a full child right in there who's a child 1 minute later. As soon as it crosses that threshold, it becomes a child. So we're just thinking logically now. What makes that happen? I don't know. Very complicated business, I guess, for them. Not so complicated for the rest of us. But my friends, what a great stream. Thanks for being here. A little bit shorter show today. It was all debate stuff. And so we're glad to debrief some of this and to review it together. We're going to come back tomorrow. It will be earlier on the day, and we'll do another stream. We'll see what the day has in store for us. We'll let the debate stuff settle down, see if we have any updates in the polls, see if we have any new filings in some of the legal cases. There's been some J13 updates. I know Melania's been talking about it, and Congress is starting to warm back up with some activity. So we'll come back and we'll have a bunch of fun tomorrow. And so thank you for subscribing wherever you're watching this. Thanks for inviting a friend or family member to come over and join us. We have a lot of fun here, and it's a lot more fun when we have our friends and family here with us. So thanks for doing that. We also want to thank our mods and our meme smiths who keep things nice and orderly around here. We've got the great K Bean in the house, Just Cause, playing hooky. Our friend Ronnie Cole, Zach Nichols, Janek, Dog Digger, Economy Pilot, Donut Mine, me, Carrie B, and our friend Zulu modding the fort for us all across the fruited plains of the live stream. And we're grateful for their help in keeping things nice and tidy. So we are going over to Locals, watchingthewatchers.locals.com for our members only after party. Link is down in the description below if you want to check it out. Also, thanks for checking out The Wellness Company, our sponsors today. And we'll see you back here tomorrow, my friends. We're going to be here to get into it again. And in order to do that, we're going to need to see you right back here so that together, with your help, we can shine that big, beautiful spotlight of accountability and transparency down upon our system with the hope of finding justice. Make it a beautiful night, my friends. Sleep very, very well. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.